Hey, what's up, YouTube? Red and Bordy here. Today, we're going to talk about the life staff in New World and the changes they made in the March update. First and foremost, Bordy, I think the most important change to the life staff is speed of light no longer exists.
Yeah, a pretty wild change, man. Absolutely, dude. What do you think about the removal of the life staff? Do you think this is good, or do you think they should have done something different by adding more mobility skills to other trees, or do you think just removing it altogether is the right play?
I mean, I would like to see, or I would have liked to see them add some more mobility, maybe like a leap on the great axe and maybe some sort of long dodge or strafe on the bow or the other agility weapons, but obviously they tried to manipulate the speed of light in some way, and there was like a note in the patch right after the preview event that they changed it, and apparently that didn't work out because now it's completely removed from the game.
Yeah, they nerfed it, didn't work. Yeah,
right.
It was still too good even after a nerf. I would agree. I think that adding more ability, I think they would have had to have almost added a movement ability to every tree, though.
Yeah.
Or at least to most of them.
Yeah.
I think if they weren't going to do that, then removing it altogether, in my opinion, was definitely the way to go.
I agree 100%. So, as we know so far, this is the only focus weapon in the game, the only healing weapon in the game, which is big now, Bordy, because we have expeditions. We have obviously all the PvE or the PvP events that New World holds. We're gonna need healers, buddy. So now, this is the primary weapon of a healer. So let's look into what healers we'll be using here on the life staff. So they updated all descriptions. Obviously, that was with most weapons. They renamed Protector Mastery Line to Healing. They renamed the Life Stealer Mastery Line to Protection, and they removed Holy Shield, Speed of Light, Healing Pulse, Siphon, and Smite. So, dude, that is a lot of abilities right off the jump to remove from the life staff tree.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see right there with the Siphon and the Smite abilities, they're removing a lot of the damage abilities from the tree. And you can also kind of read into this a little bit that they changed Life Stealer to Protection, and they changed Protector to Healing. So now you can see that it's just going to be straight healing and protection. So it's all support, all buffs, and pretty much no damage.
Yeah, and that to me is concerning. Maybe they will come out with another focus weapon that does help support the life staff as far as like damage abilities or ways for healers to level. But that's a worry for me. Is I've played healers in game. I've mained a healer in games, and not being able to kill things quickly as you're leveling up can be very troublesome.
Yeah, I guess if you're going at it solo, that's true. I think being in a group, though, it'll be a little bit different. Every group, I think, now will need a healer, or at least run in dungeons and potentially even like in PvP situations. So as long as you're not running around solo, I think it'll be okay. And also, you can level every skill in the game, so maybe it's just a matter of respecking, but respecking does cost gold. And what if you do want to just main healer and you want to run around kind of by yourself or in a small group? Well, then what? So yeah, I would agree. They need something else there for sure in terms of a focus-based ability other than just the healing staff.
Yeah, and here's to hoping that they will add a few more focus weapons to the game.
Yeah.
So here is your new healing mastery tree. They added a new ultimate mastery, divine blessing. When you heal an ally, if their health is below 50%, heal for 30% more. Is a good buff. Let's see. Here's the next ability here, Bordy. The divine embrace. So they changed royal privilege to privilege. They added a new upgrade, shared struggle, and they added a new upgrade if second target is below 50%, heal another ally within 8 meters of that. So like a chain heal. So a lot of these, Bordy, obviously through these trees are going to be worked out for you to either heal or support your ally without getting too much into depth of all these abilities. What is your first take on all these changes to the healing tree or just the life staff as a whole? I know that for sure you're not interested or probably historically have never been a support or healer. But from your opinion, what do you think about how a healer is going to feel in New World based off the life staff changes?
So I think some of these changes are pretty good, and you're right. I don't really heal a lot in MMOs, but I do know the importance of having a good healer in the game, and a lot of these changes that they've made do support kind of additional healing and lean into that support role a lot more. But it's the only thing that is a little bit off-putting, like we said before, is that there's not anything else to go along with focus, because this is it. So if I did want to run like a healing staff in my back bar and be kind of like a paladin build or something, I feel like you're going to be a little bit gimped, because if you're running like sword and board and healing staff and trying to go for that paladin build, you're going to have to kind of split your strengths there. You're not going to really be optimal. So you're going to be putting like half points into strength, and the sword and shield doesn't scale off focus. So you're gonna be putting points into strength strictly for damage there, and then putting points into focus strictly for healing, and then you're gonna be split. So then whenever you PvP or even PvE, it seems like you're gonna be at a disadvantage. So hopefully they'll add something there that you can kind of be useful if you want to be some sort of kind of a damage dealing healer, or maybe not. Maybe that's the whole point. Either you're a really good healer, or a paladin build isn't quite as strong, but you're really tanky, or I'm not sure. I hope there's going to be more variety and focus. That's my overall take of the change. I think the changes are good. It's either buff or heal. You get a lot of buffs, or you're getting a lot of heals, which I think is fine to have a good support role like that. There's just not enough options there is the problem at the moment.
So one of the things I think is interesting, and maybe is something to look forward to in the future, they already have gems that allow you to scale your other weapons off of intellect. So maybe something like that for focus might be coming as well. So then, like you said, if you want to do a paladin build, maybe you can put some gems on your sword and shield to allow them to scale off of focus, and obviously make them at least a little bit more viable, right? I think the max percentage you can convert your damage is like 50%. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So maybe that's going to be their approach, maybe across the board to help build diversity, is add gems that allow you to convert your weapon's damage type to your primary stat. So that would be cool, I think. One of the things to note here, Bordy, is there are passives that allow you to completely mitigate the cost. You will no longer have your light or heavy attacks to cost mana. Obviously help a healer preserve your mana pool. You can, I think this was in the game before, you can use your light attack to heal allies, which is, I think, pretty cool. Now not only do you have a way to deal damage, but you also can aim your light attack at your teammates to help them recover some health as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. And then the protection mastery line is the one that really changed a lot. They redid that entire tree. That's the one that the speed of light was on. This is the one that smite was on, and the one that siphon was on. It was the tree that was like more of your damage dealing tree that you would use in, I guess, both PvE and PvP situations if you wanted to deal damage to the life stat. But now they completely changed that into the protection mastery line. So those changes are really huge, man. That whole side of the tree is off. Did you want to go over some of those real fast?
The abilities?
Yeah, and the protection mastery line?
Yeah. So we'll scroll down there. I got to find it real quick. One quick note, I think this is pretty cool. Another one of the passives is called Bend Light, and basically it promotes dodge rolling as a healer. So after a dodge roll, your heals are 20% more effective for 5 seconds, which is, I think, a cool mechanic in the healing tree.
Yeah, that is cool. I like that.
All right, so here is the healing mastery line, and here's the protection mastery line. So here are some changes. They remove, Orb of Protection. Now, Orb of Protection shoots out a light projectile that grants 20% fortify for 20 seconds if it hits an ally and deals 85% weapon damage. This is pretty significant, Bordy. And again, I like these mechanics. They've hinting at the new boss mechanics in the dungeons, but this is another cool mechanic from the player side. Now we have like a little bit of a projectile that you can shoot out and grant buffs to your allies.
Yeah, absolutely. I think fortifying, I think that just increases your allies' armor, so that's pretty cool. And it's 20% fortify for 20 seconds if it hits an ally, but it's gimped damage if it hits an enemy. It's only 85% damage. So there is no damage there, really. You might as well just light attack an enemy if you're going to do
right.
damage to it. But it is nice that you have the ability to kind of buff your allies now. So you have fortify, and then you can heal as well. I find these pretty good, man. I do like the tree and the way they're separated overall with the healing and the buffs. We just need more options.
Yes, and this skill, as you upgrade it, will also allow you to gain fortify for yourself. So that's important for survivability as a healer. Obviously, it's important as a healer that you stay alive. Light's Embrace is the next ability here. Targeted heals for 75% of weapon damage plus 50% more healing for each buff on that target. So then, again, it kind of synergizes with Orb of Protection, allowing you to get a little bit more healing out of it as long as you've applied Fortify to your ally.
Yeah, I like that as well. It's a pretty neat mechanic, I think.
So the last ability in the protection line here, Bordy, is shoot out a projectile that creates a healing area on hit that moves with the target, healing allies each second for 10% weapon damage. So this is pretty cool, Bordy. You actually apply, an orb or dot to an ally, and it seems like wherever that ally moves, that's where the healing will go.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty neat mechanic for sure. I think that kind of was intended to replace Siphon, which I am a little bit upset about the removal of Siphon. I like a kind of a life steal ability in the game, and I thought that was a pretty neat ability, and it's not there anymore, so I'm a little sad that one's gone. But these new trees do look pretty good from a support standpoint, I think.
For sure. Let's real quick jump up to the healing line, and some of these skills have changed a little bit. So let's just real quickly go over those. Sacred Ground. Sacred Ground creates a shield on the ground that emits light, healing allies standing in it for 10% weapon damage every second for 10 seconds. Bordy, one thing that worries me a little bit here, and I know we have at least one burst heal here, but most of these heals are over time. So you're going to have to be pretty proactive, excuse me, as a healer in New World, it seems.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way because you're right. There is only one burst heal so far that we've seen, so that is pretty interesting.
So a lot of your healing is going to be proactive instead of reactive, which is obviously good, but can be troublesome for if you get hit hard. Let's say. So the next one is Splash of Light. This is a new ability. You and all group members are healed for 50% of your weapon damage. Now, Bordy, it doesn't say that there's any targeting involved here. It just seems like everybody in the party, no matter where they're at, is healed for 50%.
Yeah, which is pretty good. That seems pretty strong. So if you have a party of 5 people, you would heal everyone in there for 50% of your weapon damage by the push of a button is what it seems like, which I think is pretty nice. And you wouldn't want that to be any more than 50%, I don't think, because then you're getting huge heals to your entire group by one push of a button, right? And then I think that'd be a little bit broken, but it is nice to see a big group heal. I like that.
Yes, and then of course there's Divine Embrace, which is your basic heal. They left the description of the skill off because that hasn't changed. Here they have changed the passives a little bit. That added a new upgrade. If a second target is below 50%, heal another ally within 8 meters of that ally. So again, some chain stuff. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. Cool mechanic, but overall, Bordy, the healing staff obviously definitely centered around support and healing, or it's a life staff support. I'm losing my words here. It basically centered around now support and healing. There is no. I would consider it to be like a life steal tree that they removed. So again, guys. If you're going to be a healer in New World, it's going to be your primary focus, at least when you're yielding a life staff, because there are 0 damage abilities.
Yeah, it's just going to be a group support role. That's what it's going to be. I mean, that's what the life staff's going to be, which, it's fine, I think, in all honesty, because the way New World's set up, you can then respec into another tree if you want to go out and do some 1vxing or some PvP or do damage or whatever. You can always respec and go out and do those things, which is fine. I want more variety, and hopefully we'll see that. And I think we will. I think we'll see some variety on the focus tree or the focus attribute before it's all said and done.
I agree, and hopefully, we hear about that soon, Bordy. It's coming up, man. It's April already. April is 3 months away from the date that they said they're going to have the closed beta, and I would think they'd have most of the additions to the game wrapped up at that point. So maybe in the next couple months, we'll hear about another focus weapon.
Maybe. It's pretty crazy, man. We're getting close.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening and watching. What do you guys think about the life staff changes? Let us know in the comments below. My goodness. Don't forget to hit the subscription button, the notification bell for more New World content like this. Also, guys, don't forget to visit New World Fans. our website. We're putting up tons of guides and everything once the NDA drops. So don't miss that as well. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.